Hey everyone, welcome back to Crypto Cash. Thanks again for joining me here. Hope you're having an amazing day and a wonderful weekend. Taking a quick look here at Polkadot, seeing again what's going on. We get a lot of requests for this coin, so I'll just make sure to keep it on our radar. Of course, if you have other requests, link down below to our Discord, Telegram, or Twitter. Feel free to post any kind of recommendations in there. We do have a referral. Sorry, it's going to be a request section here where you can go ahead and post requests for coins that you want me to go ahead and cover. So that's available there. Also, if you want to be part of our premium group, we took some healthy profit from Avalanche and Solana here with some nice scalps last night. And of course, took some nice long here with Gala and ARPA, 80% and 30% in a short amount of time on one and a long amount of time on the other. Again, swing trades do not always hit the target right away, but they usually do. They usually do. We're about, 80-90% success rate overall. Last month we were 89%. This month even higher. It's been a really, really good month for us. So again, congrats and thanks again so much for the wonderful feedback we've been receiving regarding those trades. So what I want to talk about here, why don't we just preface first of all with Polkadot here and kind of see this is the last 12 hours of liquidation. So I would need you to recognize there's a large amount of liquidation there at about 5.3 that is just about to get wiped. So please, please, please be careful shorting pretty much any coin right now. I know it sounds crazy. It seems juicy. Yesterday was a nice red day. You would have done very well for yourself. But when the reality kicks in and that altcoin Bitcoin dominance equation comes through, you can tell that things are starting to stabilize. Okay, and keep in mind the price drop for alts yesterday because Bitcoin dominance went up as it should, because anytime altcoins are sold, the price of Bitcoin goes up because the profits from alts goes into Bitcoin. It's kind of a cycle. Okay, so we were in that rinse and repeat cycle from yesterday, so we saw some correction. Either way, this is where the levels are. We also have a $5.05 mark here for the longs. So there are just almost as much long liquidations as shorts, but the shorts are looking way closer to getting smashed. And I don't know why anybody would try to short right here at about 530. It doesn't make a ton of sense. We'll try to make sense of that here in a minute. Last thing I want to kind of preface with or clarify is our newest partnership with this phenomenal exchange, Bitunix. Phenomenal. Thank you so much again for providing a no KYC, no VPN alternative to our US, Canadian, and UK members. If you benefit or you would benefit from this if you are struggling with KYC, VPN with a lot of other exchanges. Use my link down below to benefit from this newbie benefits here. Some really good rewards and loot boxes. Really cool exchange. Be sure to check them out. All right. So what we want to talk about here is a couple things on the daily. First of all, today's daily candle looks pretty strong. It opened and essentially is trying to close at the same place that it opened. It's always a good sign. Okay. Keep in mind, volume is fairly low in the overall sense. That's not fantastic. Money flow index is starting to taper off, and we do have a MACD divergence here that just occurred within the last 24 hours. So these are all bearish type of signs. I guess I can kind of see why folks are trying to short right now. I get it. It's massively overextended. We just lost our ascending trend line as well. That's never a great sign. And truth is here, if we look at the moving averages, we just barely started testing the 50-day SMA. Okay, so we could honestly just move this little trend line out over here and kind of understand that that is an important level to stay above. So far, we're in decent shape, but it's not fantastic. Okay, not going to sugarcoat it. This is not like the best case scenario for this coin. It could very well drop pretty hard if we're not careful. So let's take a quick look here at some other factors. So we're staying above the 100-day SMA, which again, the 100 on the 4-hour is very synonymous in a lot of ways with the 20 on the daily. Those both are telling us we're in decent shape here. I want to emphasize the word decent because it's not like we're fantastic and you just take a long position because of this, but you do want to be careful and respect the current price action here. And a lot of times, I like to look for reasons not to take trades instead of trying to force a trade. And I think you should maybe try to adopt that same we'd look at TD, not TD sequential, sorry. We'll look at that in a minute. When we look at Elliott Wave here, we can see we've hit our 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 already, and we're on our way back down for ABC. Now, C should be the lowest point here. This is tentative, though. We got to keep in mind we could go lower. So if we do lose this trend line, we lose the 100-day SMA or the 20 on the daily, we're going to be in a position where the price action is going to establish a lower low, and at that point, we'd be in danger zone. Keep in mind, we're under 50 on the RSI, not fantastic, but we are bouncing nicely off of 30 on the money flow index. That's typically a good sign. Last time we had the price action come down this low, the money flow index was extremely low, and we bounced off the same exact level. So you could argue this is a double bottom pattern where the price action is trying to break. Conversely, we have a double top pattern too. So there's a lot of conflicting information here, and that's why I'm trying to kind of specify that, sometimes when you have a lot of like indecisive situations, wait for confirmation, try not to force a trade. It's perfectly fine to wait on the sidelines. There's nothing wrong with that. It's not a crime. In fact, your portfolio will thank you because you're not wrecking it by taking too many trades. We have a MACD convergence on the horizon that hasn't happened yet, but keep in mind here, in order for this trend reversal to occur, because we saw the price action pull back, we hit a 9 NT sequential, sort of a double bottom here, if you will, right? A little guy, and even a larger time frame double bottom, minus obviously the double top we talked about. But what I'm getting at here is that in order to break this trend line here, we need to establish the price action a little bit higher. So let's go ahead and move this trend line out a little bit further here for our Fibonacci levels, and just kind of clarify, in order to break this descending trend, what happens next? I cover this in my Trading Academy. If you haven't watched that yet, be sure to check that out. That's my premium group. But what I'm talking about here is that to reverse a trend, you need to establish range-bound activity, which we're doing so far, right? You could agree that we're seeing higher highs and higher lows, or sorry, parallel highs and higher lows. And then of course, the next step is to essentially be able to break this most recent high with a new low. In other words, the price has to come back up and retest it. We haven't done that yet, okay? So until we come up here and kind of do one of these, or essentially create a higher high, there's no point in trying to take a long because we haven't confirmed that we're in an ascending trend, okay? So higher lows is important, but higher highs is equally as important in order to get this trend line to continue upward. So we're not there yet, but it looks like we're on the horizon, okay? So again, consolation, is it confirming factor? No, definitely not. Last thing we want to look at would be the hourly, and just to clarify, we are looking at the Ichimoku cloud here, and this is also a confirming factor for me, letting me know that I do not want to take a trade, mainly because the price action is hitting into this, this cloud zone, which is essentially a resistance level in most cases. The price commonly rejects off of that. We can also say that the conversion line has a little bit of momentum, great, but lag and spend is not free and clear. So we've got 1 of 3 indications telling us we have a little bit of momentum to the upside. Whoop-de-doo, that doesn't matter. What matters here is getting above that cloud and making sure we're past that level, and we're not yet, okay? So if you're considering a long position, do not consider a long position right now, all right? Just friendly advice, it's not appropriate. It's not the best conditions here. This coin has a lot of conflicting information on the 4-hour time frame. We got a MACD convergence, but a bearish divergence on the RSI. A lot of reasons why we do not want to take a trade right now, okay? Again, this time tomorrow might be a different story. If we're naturally up above the cloud in 24 hours, which could occur, then I'd be much more likely to want to take a trade. And between now and then, I would highly recommend you consider waiting on the sidelines and just entertain the possibility of patience. I know it's like a 4-letter word for most people. Obviously, it's not a 4-letter word, but you get the idea. Being patient is not a bad thing, okay? Please pump the brakes, learn to take a walk if things don't go the way you want to, and make certain that you do not wreck your account by overtrading, okay? It's okay. There's nothing wrong with no trade. The best trade you can take is no trade sometimes. I hope that made sense. Thanks again for watching. Hope you learned something here today. Please comment below, like and follow if you haven't already, and help us grow the community. And jump on over to the best exchange in the world. Newbie benefits await here at Bitunix. Phenomenal exchange, no KYC, no VPN again. I hope you all have a great rest of your day. Thanks so much for your time. We'll see you in the next one. Take care.